our understanding of domestic violence has to be updated. 90% of abuse is not physical.
This is State Senator Alex Kasser just last month talking about Jennifer's Law, the bill she first introduced and ultimately passed. But Tuesday, a bombshell announcement: Kasser resigns from the Senate. The Democrat who represented Greenwich, New Canaan, and Stamford posted her full statement on Medium, stating that she could no longer continue due to personal circumstances.
Really sad to see that Senator Alex Kasser has to step down. It seems that as a person also experiencing coercive control, she has decided to have to put all of her energy into her own experiences.
Kasser says she and her husband, Seth Bergstein, a Morgan Stanley executive, have been involved in a divorce battle for 3 years, and that she can no longer serve her constituents because of the time and energy the divorce litigation takes. Kasser also claims Bergstein has tried to destroy her partner, Nicholas Sampanaro, who was Kasser's campaign manager. In a statement, she said, quote, "As all survivors of domestic abuse know, emancipating ourselves is an epic struggle that takes years, requires unflinching courage and all of our resources." Adding, quote, "Seth uses his powerful position at Morgan Stanley to enable his conduct, so I must work even harder to fight for my freedom." Connecticut Protective Moms says she's not alone.
Certainly right here in Connecticut, at least hundreds of mothers are dealing with this type of post-separation abuse. That's what we call it. When the abuser actually no longer has control, they will do most anything to ensure that the victim suffers. And if that's legal abuse, if that's financial abuse, that's tons of contempt situations in court, trying to take custody.
But Bergstein's attorney is firing back, saying any suggestion of abuse is untrue. In a statement to Fox 61 News, attorney Janet Batty said, quote, "Mr. Bergstein's priority is the well-being of his 3 children, all of whom have chosen to reside with him, and he is not going to disparage their mother in a public forum or engage in a detailed response to her fabricated narrative." Batty says Bergstein trusts that the legal system will reveal the truth. From here, the governor will likely call a special election to fill the seat. In Hartford, Alicia Machado, Fox 61 News.